Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajakacharya Astatera Satasri Śrīmad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda Ki Jai. All glories to the Sankirtan mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we want to welcome everyone to this Sunday morning, the day before January 1st, 2024, to this reading and discussion of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from the original 1962 version of that publication by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, who worked very diligently and with great determination to spread the Krishna Consciousness movement according to his spiritual master's instructions. And this is his credit. Prabhupada, on a lecture I was listening to yesterday, he was saying that people are glorifying him that he has created all these miracles. Of course, it is a miracle that people took up Krishna consciousness in the Western world after he made his journey from Calcutta to New York City in 1965. And with great determination, he managed to develop a society of devotees here in the West. And he said, this miracle that you're speaking about is that I have not changed any of the teachings of my Guru Maharaj. In other words, the business of a devotee or a disciple is to follow in the footsteps of his spiritual master. And this is what Śrīla Prabhupāda did in terms of his efforts to please his spiritual master, which, by the way, everyone, is the secret of success in spiritual life. If somehow or other you can please your spiritual master, and I know Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, that was our goal, somehow or other to get the mercy of the spiritual master. And I know that we were all very afraid when Prabhupada was with us that we would make a mistake. He might yell at us. He might chastise us. Because our goal was to please him, not make mistakes. I know when Prabhupada came to Toronto in 1976, we made all kinds of preparation for him to visit his glorious temple that we had purchased for him on Avenue Road, just up from the Parliament buildings and south of Upper Canada College, in one of the richest neighborhoods in Canada. And there we were. We went from Gerrard Street, which was just in the slums of Toronto. It was called Cabbage Town. Prabhupada had been there the year before with us and expressed his desire that we do something like this. He actually visited the Avenue Road Temple in 75. The Christians said, we'd rather burn it down than sell it to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda. So Prabhupada was very excited. Of course, in retrospect, we can understand that from his humble beginnings, in a very short time, this success had come to us on Avenue Road. So the secret was, for all of us, was to try to please the spiritual master. So when Prabhupada came to Toronto, we made all kinds of preparations. We did this and that. You know what it was like, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu. Like when I first got initiated in 1971 in Detroit, when Bhagawan was president, it was a massive renovation of the temple and the building before Prabhupada showed up. That was just the way it was. We were all focused on trying to please him. And so in Toronto, what happened was we set up there was an office in the one subsequent tower. Remember, the temple's 25,000 square feet, the size of the building. 25,000 square feet. And there was a chapel space or a residence in one of the towers with a washroom and a private suite and an office. So we made that preparation for Prabhupada. And when he came, it was such a glorious time for all of us. You can imagine. We have so many beautiful pictures of that first appearance at the temple for him at his temple. And then I was there, and Prabhupada, we showed him up to his room. And then about 2 hours later, Hare came down to see me. He said, "Oh, Prabhupada wants everything changed." Everything changed. So everything we had done was not right. The seat, the desk, all the preparation was a mistake because we didn't know what we were doing, basically, how to greet him and create accommodation for him. It's very unfortunate for us. I was quite worried. I thought, oh my God, we did all this effort. It was all wrong. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get chastised. And we went ahead, all of us working together as a team, and we changed everything. We took the desk and we took the legs off, and we rechanged the seating from a regular chair, Western office chair. We made an asana, sit-down spot, and we got cushions, and we did a whole thing, and we made the proper setup. And then Prabhupada did not complain about anything. He was so happy that we had got the building. In fact, Prabhupada was so kind to me personally that he told me, he said, everything is all right, and you just tell me what you want me to do, and I will do it for you. So Prabhupada took a very humble and sincere approach to his disciples who were fumbling along trying to serve him. So the secret of success in spiritual life is to please the spiritual master with your service that you can perform. And that is the message for today for us. At this last days of the old year, 2023, and there are three aspects to time, as we all know: Trikalagya, past, present, future, and then there's eternal time. So time is marching on. We're moving into the new year, and we're all making a resolution to increase our service to Śrīla Prabhupāda as his humble servants and maintain the mission of Lord Chaitanya and of Śrīla Prabhupāda the way he taught us. This is our goal. And we want to thank everyone for joining us throughout the year. We've had quite the year. We have over 100 or almost 200 classes that are posted on Hare Krishna Society YouTube page. So if you want to catch these classes, we're having quite a positive response all over the world to our work. Of course, we can't please everyone all of the time, but sometimes. And overall, we're getting a tremendous positive response from everyone. And thank you very much. And keep spreading the mission of our association, Prabhupada Disciples Association, and the Hare Krishna Society. And we're going to go now to the wonderful diaries of Śrīla Prabhupada, the Jaladuta diaries. And Prabhupada's going to discuss here further his journey from India to America to begin the preaching mission that he had. So we're on page 84. So, Hare, sorry, it was some instruction that you got. Prabhupada, the dream was that Krishna, in his many forms, was bowing the row. What is called? Rowing the boat. Yes, Prabhupada. Are you there? No, I sent the page from yesterday to you as well. So just go back one page, if you could, please.
Prabhu, could you send it again? Actually, I'm hosting. I don't have the access to the file.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah.
I didn't know you were hosting. Sorry about that. Is this Rupesh?
Hare Prasad.
Let's see if we can get it here. Thank you. Let me see if I can get this for you. Sorry, everyone. I had no idea that we would. Let's see if I can find Rupesh. You know what we'll do? It's going to take too much time. We're almost finished our section. So I'll just read this out since we're on it and everyone can just listen. Rowing the boat, Prabhupada, yes, Trivikram, Jai. And when I arrived in Boston, I wrote that poetry. Hari Sori, if you were only sponsored for 1 month, know it that you were able to extend your visa all the time. Prabhupada, I was extending. The immigration officer came in Boston in my boat. He inquired about this, so he asked me, so Sir Swamiji, how long you want to stay? So I thought, I have no shelter. I have no money, but I've got the return ticket. So I did not know how long. He asked me, how long you want to stay? So I thought, in these circumstances, I can stay at most 2 months. Because I have no means where to stay, how to eat, and where shall I go? So I may struggle for 2 months. So I told him I may stay at most 2 months. He immediately, 2 months sanctioned immediately. I could not think that I was able to. He laughs. That 1 month we're there sponsoring. So I thought, another 1 month, that's all? That? This gentleman has sponsored for 1 month. So that is guaranteed. Then I can stay another 1 month. That's all. So after that, so I was staying here and they're there without fixity. So I was extending the visa. Each time I was paying $10. Another 3 months, another 3 months like that. And when the 1 year was finished, they refused. No extension. Hari, sorry, but by that time you had some kind of Prabhupada, yes. Organization going, Hari Sori says. Yes, at that time I was at 2nd Avenue. So then Ray Ram took the help of a lawyer. He took the case that he'll give me permanent residence. So he was extending only, and each time he was taking $150. So in this way, I entered in 1965, September, up to May. And in the May month of May, there was heart stroke. Hari Sori. So that was when? 67? And go to the page there that I sent. Trivikram, 66. Prabhupada, 66. Yes, 66. After 1.5 years, Hari Sori, then was 67 then. Prabhupada, because the time was taken, extension then in 1967 in July, I thought, now the health is broken. I was very sick after heart stroke. So I thought, now I shall not exist. So let me go to Vrindavan and die there. So I came back in July 67. So this Brahmananda and others, they were crying when I got on the boat. The heart was so weak. Pusta Krishna, you went back to India by boat? Prabhupada, no, by plane, I think. Pusta Krishna from San Francisco? At that time, I got some money. 5,000 was given by Jayananda. He gave me 5,000, and Brahmananda also gave me. So I spent some money for acquiring some. I had about 6,000. So when I purchased the ticket coming back with Kirtananda, in this way I came back to India. Prabhupada, or Harisori, you were just saying, Prabhupada, and again I had paid 5,000 rupees to Kirtananda to come back aside. What is that? Kirti Raj Prabhu, Radha Ballava, Kirti Raj Prabhu bought this for your rocking chair. Oh, Radha Ballava, should I put it on? Prabhupada, rock and roll, devotees laugh. Harisori, so when did you come back again? Prabhupada, I came back in 67, December. Harisori, oh, you weren't gone long then. Trivikram, 6 months. Prabhupada, yes, July to December. Trivikram, and your health was better? Prabhupada, not very good. So many troubles. When I came back, there was always bad sound going on. Gong, gong, gong in my brain. Very disturbing. In this Los Angeles, I was staying in some, I forgot. Trivikram, La Nega. Prabhupada, no, La Nega. Later on, I was staying near Pico. Is that Pico? There was, I think, Washington Boulevard. Near there, I forgot that quarter. So that's some insight into the dialogue that Prabhupada was enjoying and explaining his history of carrying out the orders of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswāmī, on this Appearance Day celebration. We'll move forward now with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava, and then the reading and discussion with His Grace Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu on the last day of 2023. Hare Krishna.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Yaśodā-nandana Braja Jana Vandana. Yaśodā-nandana Braja Jana Vandana. Yasoda-nandana Prasada-nandana Yamuna-tira Vanachari Yamuna-tira Vanachari Jaya Radha-madhava Vihari Jaya Radha-madhava Jaya Mukhasaram Śrīla Prabhupāda Sadasyaman Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki Jai Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jai Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki Jai Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadvip Dham ki Jai Swami Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Ganga Mai ki Jai Jamuna Mai ki Jai Tulasi Devi ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Swami Bhaktivinoda ki Jai All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. From Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya Narayanam namaskritya Naram cheva narottamam Naram cheva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Tato Jayam Mudirayet. One should utter the means of conquest, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1 to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2 to the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3 to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4 to Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author, from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As we do every Sunday morning, we will be reading a few verses from Canto 1, Chapter 2, describing the exalted position of these great literatures and the benefit of hearing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 17. Srinvatam svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Ridyantasto Yabadrani Vidunoti Suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is also the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, does cleanse the desire for material enjoyment in the heart of a devotee who has developed the urge for hearing his, Krishna's messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Next text, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text number 18. Nashta prayeshu babadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class or rendering service unto the pure devotees, all that is inauspicious in the heart of a candidate becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, comes into being an irrevocable fact. Text number 19. Tadarajastamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye chetayetera naviddam stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is fixed up in one's heart, at that time the effects of the nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire and hankerings, etc., do disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed up in the mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. Text number 20. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Thus, when one is positively fixed up in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the enlivened-minded man affected by contact of devotional service of the Lord can positively know scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. Before we start reading the text for today, which is Canto 1, Chapter 4, text number 8 and 9. Canto 1, Chapter 4, text 8 and 9. Today is the auspicious day of the disappearing day of His Divine Grace, Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupāda, the illustrious spiritual master of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda. So it is a very, very special occasion, very, very important occasion for any and all Gaudiya Vaishnavas for the remembrance of this great exalted personality. Śrīla Prabhupada one time was told by one of his disciples, "Oh Prabhupada, you're like gold." Prabhupada said, "No, I'm like iron. My Guru Maharaj was pure molten gold. He was a walking encyclopedia. He was one of a very great powerful preacher and scholar who established the Gaudiya Math Institution for preaching the glories and mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." So we will go on to the text number 8 and 9. Hari Prasad, can you put those texts on the screen, please? I'll start reading. Oh, no, that's not Canto 1, Chapter 4, text number 8. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Sagodahan matrohi griheshu griyamedinam avekshate mahabhaga tirti kurovan tadashramam. Sa hi Śukadeva Gosvāmī Godahan matram, only for the time of milking the cow. He certainly, griheshu, in the house of, griyamedinam, of the householders, avikshate, waits, mahabhagaha, the most fortunate, tirti, pilgrimage, kuravan, transforming, tadashramam, the residence. Translation: he is accustomed to stay at the door of the householder only for the time of milking the cow, just to sanctify such residence. Purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda. Śukadeva Gosvāmī met the Emperor Parikshit and explained before him the text of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He is not accustomed to stay at any householder's residence for more than half an hour at the time of milking the cow, just to take alms from such fortunate householder. That was also for the purpose of sanctifying the residence by his auspicious presence. Therefore, Śukadeva Gosvāmī is an ideal preacher and established in the transcendental position. From his activities, those who are in the renounced order of life and dedicated to the mission of preaching the message of Godhead should learn that such persons have no business with the householders save and except to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Such missionaries asking for alms from the householder should be for the purpose of sanctifying the place. One who is in the renounced order of life may not be allured by the glamour of the householder's worldly possessions and thus become subservient of such worldly man. This degraded position of one who is in the renounced order of life is much more dangerous than drinking poison and commit suicide. Text number 9. Abhimanyu sutam suta prahura bhagavatottamam tasya janma mahascharyam karmani chagrini hina. Abhimanyu Sutam, the son of Abhimanyu. Suta, O Suta. Prahur is said to be Bhagavatottama, the first-class devotee of the Lord. Tasya, his. Janma, birth. Karmani, activities. Mahascharyam, very much wonderful. Cha, and. Grinihi, please speak to. Na, us. Translation. It is said that Maharaj Parikshit is a great devotee of the Lord in the first grade, and his birth and activities are all wonderful. Kindly speak to us all about him. The birth of Maharaj Parikshit is wonderful because in the womb of his mother he was protected by the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. His activities are also wonderful because he chastised the Kali who was attempting first to kill the cow. To kill cow means ending human civilization. He wanted to protect the cow from being killed by the great representative of sin. His death is also wonderful because he got previous notice of his death, which is also wonderful for any other mortal being. And thus, he prepared himself from passing away, sitting down tightly on the bank of the Ganges, and hear the transcendental activities of the Lord. For all the days he heard Bhagavatam, he did not take food or drink, nor did he sleep for a moment. So everything about him is wonderful for the common man, and they are worth hearing attentively. The anxiety is expressed herewith to hear about him in details. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandanam Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatehi Visheshataham Amso Adadana Strinam Danter Idam Yachi Punaha Punaham Śrīmad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhulishyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatosmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Sat Karomishvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we have a description of the exalted position of Sri Śukadeva Goswami. We have seen in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam there are numerous descriptions of great Vaishnavas, great Acharyas, and their transcendental position. In the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there is one place where it describes saintly persons, Tirti Kurvanti Tirtani Stani Stitaha, that great personalities, they purify even the places of pilgrimage. That is the power of saintly personalities. So this is a very important point, because here we see Śukadeva Goswami in text number 8 in the purport is described, therefore, Śukadeva Goswami is an ideal preacher and established in the transcendental position. From his activities, those who are in the renounced order of life and dedicated to the mission of preaching the message of Godhead should learn that such persons have no business with the householders save and except to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. So this is a very important point. In the age of Kali Yuga, with the advent of Kali Yuga, everything becomes polluted. And as such, we see there are descriptions in the Shastras, Guravo Bahavo Shanti Shishya Vittapaharakaha. There is a warning given in the Padma Purana in a conversation between Lord Shiva and Parvati. The description is given, there are many gurus, many persons presenting themselves as spiritual authorities, Shishyavittapaharakaha, who are very expert in stealing the wealth of the disciple or the follower. Shishyavittam in the money, the wealth of the disciple. Durlabha Sadguru Devi. But my dear Devi, it is very rare to find a bona fide authorized guru, Shishya Shantapaharakaha, who can take away the miseries, Shantapaharakaha, take away the miseries of the disciple. And this is the exalted position of a personality like Sri Śukadeva Goswami and all those bona fide acharyas who follow in the line of Sri Śukadeva Goswami. Now it's important, somebody may raise the issue, why are these discussions so important? Why is it so important? Because in the material world, we're all entangled. We are attached to this material body under the illusion of Maya, false ego, illusion, the illusory energy. Just like we see all over the world in Kali Yuga, there is conflict, there is difficulty, because in the age of Kali, Kaler Doshanidhi Rajan, we see in the 12th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that Śukadeva Gosvāmī is warning the king. Kaler Doshanidhi Rajan Astiyeko Mahan Gunaha, that this age of Kali is an ocean of fault. Doshanidhi. There are so many difficulties and so many problems in the age of Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and discord. But then somebody may ask, well, if there is so much disturbances, so much difficulty, how can people make some spiritual advancement? Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Parambrajet. Simply by the chanting of the name of Lord Krishna. Mukta Sangha Parambrajet. One can immediately become liberated. This is the power of the Maha Mantra and the association of personalities like Sri Śukadeva Goswami. Just like yesterday, as part of our discussion, we saw a conversation with Śrīla Prabhupāda, discussing with an Indian gentleman who was trying to tell Prabhupada that he saw Krishna. Prabhupada laughed and basically said, very nice, you've seen Krishna, you listened, very good. Because the question was raised, how can one see? Prabhupada said, the reason you cannot see is because you do not have the eyes to see. There is a process to develop the vision, to develop the understanding how to see Lord Krishna. One can come to the stage of being able to see Lord Krishna face to face. But this process begins with Shravanam, for hearing, by submissive hearing from authorities. Just yesterday, a very nice devotee sent me a little YouTube message where Prabhupada was discussing the position of Swarup Damodar Goswami, the secretary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because people could not come directly to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and make presentations or present their poetry or present their book or talk to him. That was not how it worked. They had to go to his confidential secretary, Swarup Damodar Goswami. So one person had come to present some poetry to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Swarup Damodar Goswami, after reviewing the poetry, said, Bhagavata Paragiye Bhagavata Stane, that you can understand the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam only after you serve the person Bhagavatam, a person who lives his life according to the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Then one can understand. We've often discussed how in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a famous verse, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastrakoi, that all the Shastras, all the authorized scriptures recommend the association of saintly persons. Sadhu. Sadhu Sangha means association with saintly person. Sarva Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Hoy. Lavamatra Sadhu Sange. Lavamatra means 1/11 of a second. Lavamatra Sadhu Sange. That if one associates with a saintly person, even for a very small duration of time, 1/11 of a second, Sarva Siddhi, one can reach all perfection. In that same little YouTube video, Prabhupada continued the description. He says, one should approach a saintly person not for seeing, but for hearing. Now, this is the point here. Many persons are preaching the opposite idea, that you should approach a person who is living for seeing. No. That's not the correct understanding. In other words, what Prabhupada was expressing is that Vani is more important than Vapu. That the instruction and the teachings of a bona fide sadhu, bona fide acharya, or spiritual preceptor is more important than just the physical seeing. And this is what Prabhupada's Vani incarnation, his transcendental presence in his literatures, is all about. We hear every week, every single week, we read these few verses from the Canto 1, Chapter 2 of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, describing the importance and the benefit of what happens if you hear this great literature. This is very important because we see during the lifetime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he met Ramananda Roy. Now, Ramananda Roy, at the time of his meeting Lord Chaitanya, was just a governor. He was just a Kshatriya type person managing the affairs of the state of South India near Madras, now Chennai. And he was accompanied by so many assistants and ministers and servants. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been advised by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a great scholar, that when you go to South India, please take the time to meet Ramananda Roy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Ramananda Roy, and they had very, very important discussions about spiritual life and the various processes of making spiritual advancement. As Ramananda Roy was presenting so many different processes, one after the other, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept telling him, yes, very nice, go on, go on. But when Ramananda Roy quoted that verse from the Bhagavatam, Stani stitaha shriti-gatan tanuvan manobir, ye praya sajita juapi tarestrilokyam, that one should remain in whatever position he is and hear the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And by doing this, one will reach perfection and be able to conquer Krishna. One of Krishna's name, God's name, is Ajita. Ajita means that no one can conquer or surpass God. But if somebody hears the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, then Krishna, the Ajita, can become Jita. Then one can gain the favor of Krishna and understand Krishna and eventually get the direct association of Krishna. We've often read from different verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam how this literature is non-different than Krishna himself. There's the personality of Krishna, and then there's the association of Krishna in the form of his transcendental literature. And this is exactly what Śukadeva Gosvāmī was doing here, visiting the householder, not just for a handout. You could get a handout anywhere. But he was benefiting these personalities by his transcendental presence and instruction. And this is why, like a devotee asked me recently, why is it that you and Vishwakarma are spending so much time studying and presenting these diary pastimes of Prabhupada and what Prabhupada did over here? Why don't you just concentrate just hearing the Bhagavatam? Because the life and activities of a pure devotee, of a Mahabhagavata, are just as important as the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Because we see how Prabhupada took so much care, so many details, so many personal sacrifices to bring the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to the Western countries. This is very important. How many people at the age that Prabhupada was, 71, 72, go on a boat with no money practically, a case of books all the way across the world, after suffering 2 heart attacks, came to New York. Prabhupada had so many tribulations. It is not that Prabhupada was an ordinary person, But he took these sacrifices, he underwent these sacrifices to bring the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We've often discussed this very important verse that was composed by a great Acharya named Srinath Chakravarti. He was the first devotee or Acharya in our Sampradaya to make a commentary on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam called Chaitanya Manjusha. In the beginning of this exalted commentary, he quotes the position of Lord Krishna and the position of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And he says, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam, that this literature, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, is the topmost literature, the topmost spotless evidence. If somebody is serious about spiritual life, one can understand the position of life, the position of the soul, what happens after death, who is God, what are his activities, where does he live, what is our relationship with him, simply by hearing this divine message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, as well as Bhagavad Gita. So this is very important. Anyone who associates with Śrīla Prabhupada by reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is being blessed by his divine grace. Is guaranteed to make spiritual advancement, provided they get the original version. Now that's important and another discussion for another day. So we will leave open the discussion and the commentaries, and thank you very much on this most auspicious day of the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Very, very important day. And everyone here, we simply wish you a very happy, prosperous, and Krishna conscious New Year. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bo, thank you very much for your explanation of these two verses today from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Prabhupada's insights that he has given us in his purports. I was listening to a lecture by Prabhupada. He was saying that everything that Lord Chaitanya spoke was scripture, not just what is written in the books, but what is spoken. And similarly, the pure devotee, who is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the transparent via media. This is the Vani principle, that Krishna is speaking through the pure devotee. So everything that the pure devotee speaks is Shastra, it's scripture, and it gives us an understanding. So the verses, there are so many different verses that are given in the scriptures. Actually, we discussed it yesterday, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, how many verses there are in these. Just the Mahabharata, there's 100,000 verses. In the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there's 18,000 verses. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's 11,000 verses. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's 700 verses. The main scriptures that Prabhupada has given us are to condense. They're condensing the philosophy through his purports in a practical manner for us to understand how we should behave. This is not just purports. Sometimes people, as you were mentioning, they're wondering, well, why do you speak about these various topics concerning ISKCON and the guru business? Why do you do that? Because here today, in the Bhagavatam, we get some real understanding of the conduct of a sannyasi. Prabhupada's telling us how the sannyasi should act in association with the grihasta. So if you can go, Hari Prasad, please go back to text number 8 to the purport. I wanted to highlight this and connect the dots for everyone in terms of this purport for you. So some of you may not understand the connection here. So go down, it's not there. Okay. Let's see here. We have text 8, the purport. Go down to, I'll start reading. From his activities, those who are in the renounced order of life and dedicated to the mission of preaching the message of Godhead should learn that such persons have no business with the householder save and except to enlighten them in transcendental knowledge. Such missionaries asking for alms from the householder should be for that purpose of sanctifying the place. One who is in the renounced order of life may not be allured by the glamour of the householder's worldly possessions and thus become subservient of such worldly man. This degraded position of one who is in the renounced order of life is much more dangerous than drinking poison and commit suicide. Just see how dramatic the words are. Commit suicide, because a sannyasi is considered to be materially dead. He has no attachment to anything on the material platform, especially wealth. Because there are two stumbling blocks, Prabhupada explains, to the path of liberation, and it's called women and wealth. And here we're speaking about wealth, because what happens when a person goes into the guru business? He becomes enamored with wealth. I have an example here of one of our god brothers who's taken the role of a fake guru, and he asked a colleague of mine when he first met her, actually, years ago, and she comes from a wealthy family in India, and the first question he asked her was, how much money do you have? How much money do you have? I also found out through another god brother, Kudachuk, yesterday, I was speaking to him. He was saying that when the guru from Toronto goes south, it's $5,000 for first initiation and $10,000 for second. No qualifications. Just pay money. So what happens? Why does Prabhupada give us this warning? Because he had an understanding of how a person in the guru role could abuse his position to sell Krishna consciousness to his disciples. Sell it for money. How much money do you have? One who is in the renounced order of life may not be allured by the glamour of the householder's worldly possessions. What happens, Prabhus, when somebody has money? They buy people. In other words, I was speaking to one of my god brothers. He was saying that the fake guru is controlled by the rich disciple, controlled by the disciple. Because guess what happens? If you don't do Mr. Guru in the guru business, if you don't do what your disciple says, who's donating millions of dollars to you, they stop giving you money. So you become controlled by that donation. You become controlled by that disciple because of money, women, and wealth. This drags you down. Prabhupada says it is much more dangerous than drinking poison and committing suicide. How did he know? Because he had personal experience in the Gaudiya Math. That's exactly what happened. The Gaudiya Math was destroyed because of this. One of the reasons. Nowadays, the Gaudiya Math, there is still, I heard from another god brother, they're still in competition with each other in lawsuits and this. And so he's giving us insight from his own personal experience. Yes, from his own, through his purports here. Connect the dots. Was Prabhupada talking about ISKCON here? No. This was published in 1962, not in 1972. This was published before ISKCON started. And why is Prabhupada bringing this up? Because he saw it happen amongst his own God brothers. And this has become ISKCON Gaudiya Mat Part 2. It was a warning to anyone who takes sannyas to be careful in that renounced order from associating with people that are going to give you money and then control your actions by that money. That's what's happened. ISKCON is controlled by money, not by truth. The truth is the essence of this principle of Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting about the glories of the Lord from the pure devotee Śrīla Prabhupāda, not from a so-called elected guru who's after money. I'll finish up. Recently, a person that I know, he left Canada and went on a flight. Of course, he's been flying everywhere, India, South America, Cuba, within the last 4 months. India, South America, Cuba. And recently, in the last 2 weeks, he flew to Hawaii for 4 days. Did he go to the temple? No, he showed up at the end of his trip. He was staying with one of his wealthy disciples in his mansion by the ocean. Very interesting. By his actions, he's revealing this very point that Prabhupada is making here, that you have to be very careful, especially if you're so-called in the sannyas order of life, to avoid being trapped by the illusion of money. This is not what Prabhupada wanted. And that's why Yaśodā-nandana, maybe you can further elaborate on this, he did not want to give out the order of sannyas in the last few months of his life on this material platform, because he understood that this was something that was being abused by many people for fame and money and position. Yaśodā-nandana, please.
Well, you're raising some very important points, as controversial as they may be, because what happened is sometimes we see that some person will say, well, we should not be discussing these things in a general class. We should talk about the nectar. We should just read the book. Well, as nice as it may be, the reality of the world that we live in is such that we cannot avoid these issues. They cannot be avoided. Everyone is confronted with these issues on a regular basis, with these modern telecommunications, the internet, and all the proliferation of discussion on various topics. That is why it's very important for devotees to shield themselves, to protect themselves. Just like, for example, here in Northern California in the mountains, yesterday morning, there was some rain. Now, some places there was snow above us. We're only at 4,000 feet above sea level here. But at 6,000 feet above sea level, there was some snow. Now, an intelligent person is not going to go out in the snow in a t-shirt with sandals. Otherwise, you're going to get cold. You might get sick. So if one is foolish enough to think, oh, the rain or the snow will not affect me. Well, it's possible, but the reality is one has to protect himself. So similarly, these kind of discussions are important to understand the truth, the facts, fact-finding. We have no interest in gossiping or blaspheming or finding fault with any devotee. That is not the idea of this discussion. But as we've seen ourselves in Prabhupada's purports in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and other places, he discusses these issues. He discusses these issues to warn the devotees not to make mistakes that can be injurious to their spiritual life as well, to the spiritual life of his society. At this point here, I want to read a purport and a text from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, text number 30. Canto 1, Chapter 19, text 30, which basically describes the exalted position of a devotee like Śukadeva Gosvāmī and His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur and Śrīla Prabhupāda. Why such persons are so powerful. I'm going to read the Sanskrit text, then read the translation and purport. Sasambritas tastramahan mahiyasam brahmarishi rajarishi devarishi sangaihi vyarocharam bhagavan yatendur garahariksha taranirake paritaha nikare paritaha. Translation: Śukadeva Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all. Purport: in the great assembly of saintly personalities, there was Vyasadeva, the Brahmarishi, Narada, the Devarishi, Parashurama, the great ruler of the Kshatriya kings, etc. Some of them were powerful incarnations of the Lord. Śukadeva Goswami was not known as Brahmarishi, Rajarishi, or Devarishi, nor was he an incarnation like Narada, Vyasa, or Parashurama, and yet he excelled them in respects paid. This means that the devotee of the Lord is more honored than in the world than the Lord himself. One should therefore never minimize the importance of a devotee like Śukadeva Goswami. And the reason we are bringing this up is because we see that there are many persons who are openly preaching in public, criticizing Śrīla Prabhupāda. Many persons who claimed at one point to be devotees, who may have been initiated, some even in the renounced order of life, but due to bad association or for lack of knowledge, lack of transcendental knowledge, they deviate from the teachings. This is why the warning is given. One should therefore never minimize the importance of a devotee like Śukadeva Goswami. We keep bringing this up about the appearance of Śukadeva Goswami in the arena where Maharaj Parikshit was getting ready to depart his body, because this is a very, very important event, because we see in Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 8, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 8, it is described in the purport, when Maharaj Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges, the news spread in all directions of the universe, and the great-minded sages who could follow the importance of the occasion all arrived there on the plea of pilgrimage. Actually, they came to meet Maharaj Parikshit and not to take a bath of pilgrimage, because all of them were competent enough to sanctify the places of pilgrimage. So this is a very important point. Great personalities, powerful acharyas, and great saints and rishis, they visit various places to benefit persons with their presence. In the text it is described, at that time all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. So this is very important. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, very important. And the proper understanding of Guru Tattva is the essence of our philosophy. It's not that we are actually, and everyone should realize this, we're reading the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and it is considered to be the feet, the lotus feet of the Lord. And these purports are relevant to the philosophy that's being presented by Śukadeva Gosvāmī in terms of making spiritual advancement, and the extension of that understanding by the succinct explanation of the philosophy of Prabhupada is non-different than the scripture. So we're just repeating or helping connect the dots further in 2023, now 2024, for the benefit of everyone who is serious about taking up spiritual life. Prabhupada said, if you're not serious, then what's the point of guru? You don't need a guru if you're not serious about spiritual life. It's only for those that are truly interested in getting out of the entanglement of material existence, birth, death, disease, and old age, interested in getting out of these problems of having a material body, material mind, that are serious about liberation. And liberation is in spreading the truth about the spiritual master and his mission as it comes from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm going to ask Jonas Priya to make a few comments, and then we'll bring forward our friend Nilesh Dalal for some question. Jonas Priya in Hawaii, please.
Hare Krishna, Haribo, glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Aloha to everybody.
Aloha.
Yes, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta ki jai.
Jai.
We're so very fortunate that we're on this parampara. Why? Because this is a bona fide parampara, and all of these great acharyas, they had no other business but to awaken that love of Krishna in everybody's heart. And why is it so important to try to read and understand the writings of Śrīla Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta? And we know that Śrīla Prabhupada's writings are 95% Bhaktisiddhanta's directly, almost word by word. So this is the examples that we need to follow. We do not manufacture new philosophy. We don't manufacture new tunes. We don't manufacture new scriptures. We simply read what the bona fide spiritual master gave us to read. We follow his instructions. And what will happen if we do that? Then we're guaranteed to make progress in Krishna consciousness. Why? Because the pure devotee, his only motivation is to awaken that love of God in our heart. He has no other motivation. He doesn't care about our money or background or whatever. He simply wants to give us that opportunity. So we're so fortunate that we have this opportunity to gather here and to hear the scriptures also from somebody, from devotees that they're not looking for money or fame. What? They simply want to please Śrīla Prabhupada, because that's what Prabhupada wanted us to do. He wanted us to preach Krishna consciousness to everybody, just like Lord Chaitanya. He said, whoever you meet, you should preach Krishna conscious to them. So this is our greatest opportunity, and we should try our very best to preach, to invite people to join the Sangha, and to read Prabhupada's books, and to somehow other get involved if you can. There's many ways that we could all help build up this nice, beautiful Sangha that we have. So let's get proactive and try to there's plenty of work. If we ask Vishwakarma or Yasodā-nandana Prabhu, they could direct us. There's many services that need to be done. So I wish everybody a happy new year, and a happy new year in Krishna consciousness is what we want. We gotta get out of the habit of trying to please Maya, because so far that hasn't worked out for anybody. So Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada.
Thank you very much. Yes, there is much to do by the grace of the Lord. Remember, when you're chanting your rounds every day, you're praying to Krishna. This, as you go through your 16 rounds, you're praying to Krishna to please engage me in your service and the service of the Hare Krishna Society and the Prabhupada Disciples Association is to present Krishna consciousness as we learnt it from our spiritual master, Śrīla Prabhupāda, and we're trying to convey it in all sincerity to other people that are looking for the truth of the matter, Guru Tattva. We have very interesting devotee Nilesh Dalal from Miami, Florida.
Hare
I
Krishna.
believe. You're always on the go. I see you're moving. You're a fast-moving person.
Yes. No, just it's because of the holidays, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
That's okay. I don't mind. That's your life. Go ahead, please. Your comment or question.
Yes. Hare Krishna. One thing, I just want to know if that Mataji is there from yesterday, who had asked this question, which is very relevant to what we are discussing even today.
Yes, I'm here.
She is
Wonderful,
here.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So the question is sometimes we may sound as a group who are fanatics about Śrīla Prabhupada. When we say we got to surrender to a guru, it is very important or very critical to know what kind of guru and what is the relationship of the guru is to the absolute.
Yes.
Because if that connection is not there with the absolute, then how can we achieve the absolute? You see? And yesterday I was in the process of trying to explain, but I lost connections.
Yes.
Is that it's a very simple thing is, if I'm a travel agent and Mataji wants to go from, say, Pakistan to India and then from India to Texas, and I can make you travel from Pakistan to, say, JFK, which is New York City, John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City. And I say from there, you'll have to seek some other travel agent to go wherever you need to go. And now you have Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, who says, no, I can give you the whole itinerary to take you from Pakistan through India to Texas, back to your home. I can arrange all the travel arrangements for you. Which travel agent would you choose? This is the difference between the pure, unalloyed, bona fide devotee of, bona fide representative of Krishna, which Prabhupada has, unlike any other guru. Now, I had the discussion even with Jadurani Mataji. She was saying, is that do you think that there are no other pure devotees in the world? Yes, there may be pure devotees in the world, but those pure devotees in the world will never initiate you without proper authorization, because they are the pure devotees of the Lord who do not need to do anything with this material world. They don't care anything from this material world. They don't care for pratishtha. They don't care for profit. They don't care for gain of reputation. They don't care for anything. What was Śukadeva Gosvāmī before he entered the audience of Parikshit Maharaj? How was he treated? He was treated by common people as a madman. The children threw stones at him because he was going around naked. He did not even have clothes. So when you compare with ordinary intellect, if you look at very devout personalities, you will not recognize them. And sometimes you may think that these are very advanced devotees, but when they are absolutely shallow. So there has to be a very great understanding for you to delineate between the two types of gurus. Because walking on the spiritual path is like walking on a razor sharp edge.
Exactly.
Why does Prabhupada constantly, why does Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu constantly is warning us, is reminding us about these pitfalls, is because even a slight digression and we will not achieve the final result. So understand this from a whole perspective, as we are not Prabhupada fanatics. We have tried to understand this whole process of how it works. And if you want to reach the proper destination, you need to have a proper travel agent. You need to have a proper GPS, Guru Positioning Service. Not Global Positioning Service, Guru Positioning Service, because Guru will position you in such a way that you will traverse not only this material universes, but straight, not only to the spiritual sky, but straight to Golok Vrindavan, the main heart where you will be in your constitutional position. And what is your constitutional position? Jivere Swarup hoy, Nitya Krishna Das.
Yes.
So this is very important that we understand these different aspects. So who is the right guru is very important, not just any guru. And I would be happy if somebody else can opine further on this.
I'm going to make a comment here. The word fanatic is also, in a sense, a derogatory term. You're a fanatic. But the fact of the matter is, we're focused. We're not fanatics, we're focused. And this is the business of the disciple, to be focused on the order of his spiritual master. Now that requires extensive study of Prabhupada's instructions, which in our case, we have with Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, someone who is constantly studying and reviewing and understanding Prabhupada's directions for all of our benefit. And so like you, Prabhu, you're also studying and learning, myself, all of us in this group. So Prabhupada encouraged us, read my books. Why? Because through these books, we get detailed instructions on how to conduct ourselves in terms of going back to Godhead from the spiritual, pure devotees, spiritual master. This is the secret. It's a mystery. You can reveal, this can be revealed through a focused, not fanatical, focused approach to learning Krishna consciousness. Guru, Shastra, Sadhu. These three things must be there, legitimate ones. And in this way, you can make your way back home, back to Godhead. Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, please. Microphone.
Yeah, I think it's there.
Yeah.
I think one important point here, just like Nilesh Prabhu was mentioning that he had a discussion with a Mataji in Florida, and she mentions about other pure devotees. My question is about these other pure devotees. During the manifested presence of Prabhupada, where were these pure devotees? Why is it that during Prabhupada's preaching activities from 1965 to 1977, that nobody was helping him? There was a lot of talk, a lot of letters exchanged, this and that, but nobody practically came to help Prabhupada, the factual pure devotee. So a lot of these post-1977 pure devotees, it is not our position to comment whether they're pure devotees or not. They may be pure devotees, they may not be pure devotees. The point is, what factual preaching help did they give to Śrīla Prabhupada? That's why Prabhupada commented in a letter on the 28th of April, 1974, that none of my godbrothers are qualified for becoming acharyas. Now, somebody may be a good devotee and talk about Krishna, stay in their mat and ring the bell in the temple. That's nice. But who actually did the work of spreading the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world? Who brought the message? Śrīla Prabhupada is that person. Who fulfilled the prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Śrīla Prabhupada. Who fulfilled the prediction of Lord Chandas Thakur that a great Senapati Bhakta would come and bring the message of Mahaprabhu. That is Śrīla Prabhupada. Bhaktivedanta Thakur in the 1800s predicted in his Sajjanatoshani journal that a great personality would come and bring the message of Lord Chaitanya. Who did that? Prabhupada. So with all due respect to all these other pure devotees, or whatever level they were on, that is nice. But we are concerned with the actual provable commodity. Just like if you are in the market to purchase gold, you better know what gold is. Somebody recently said, well, we should modify the program for newcomers. Well, it's a great idea. Did the newcomers or potential newcomers bother to read Prabhupada books to find out what is a bona fide guru? What are the qualifications? All of these very important questions. Just like if a person is going to go and buy gold, it would help to know how to test the gold. So if he's looking for 24 karat gold, he doesn't end up with 10 karat gold or 14 karat gold. There's different prices. It's not the same. So this is a very important point. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. So we're moving to the end. It's 11:31 here in Eastern Canada. And I see Nilesh has got his hand up for a brief comment. Nilesh, Prabhu, please. I guess he's not able to connect. So
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you very. Oh, okay.
Sorry, Prabhu. I wanted to ask if Mataji had any questions about this discussion. What is her input?
No, I do understand. I mean, for me, luckily, I feel fortunate that I got a little bit association with you guys, and I'm in a place where, I know what my family is doing, and I know about the other guru whom I kind of followed when I was 11-year-old. But I still think what he is doing is not bad, because if he was not around, we all would be just eating meat. All the men would be drinking liquor, and it was a wasted life. So he's still doing something, because a lot of population have become Krishna conscious. They have deities at home. They are offering bhogas. They are chanting. They are doing Mangalati. So a lot of good stuff they are doing. Yeah, maybe the ultimate goal is to, to reach to Goloka Vrindavan. I understand from your point that maybe they might not be able to reach that, but whatever they are getting is still better than not getting anything and just living ignorant life and eating meat and doing intoxication.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I see Jonas Priya has his hand up to make a further comment just before we move to the kirtan.
I
Jonas
just wanted
Priya,
to welcome Patrick's. I invited this person. She's a very nice devotee lady from Argentina. Today is her first day here. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu, for helping us to share Krishna consciousness with other people as part of our service to our spiritual master, Śrīla Prabhupāda. And we look forward to next year, a wonderful opportunity as a group to expand our efforts in this way, working cooperatively to achieve these goals that we've set out. We have a very large agenda of activity, new classes, technology. We're using technology as effectively as possible to spread Krishna consciousness around the world and also locally. So if you have anyone that can help us in these fields, or anyone who's interested in publishing books or working with us in Prashadam distribution, all these different services that we want to develop with our group, the Hare Krishna Society and the Prabhupada Disciples Association, we will welcome you as a participant. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll move forward for the kirtan. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada and the Sankirtan movement. We'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. that's Eastern Standard Time here in Canada and the US, for the reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Haribol.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Let us offer our respectful
Van-
obeisance. Yaśodā, please.
Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare